Hi, my name is Terry Gallagher. I'm the reference librarian at CCBC. Um, Welcome to the library instruction today, information investigation for introduction to reading and writing classes. This is an overview of one of your main assignments in these classes is to produce a paper about your career choice. So I want to get you started with some advice on how to do this assignment and get the good grades. So today we're looking for sources for your assignment, and we want to get you away from just Googling and not having credible sources out on the web. So we're going to take you down through a couple different ways you can approach this career paper. I also wanted to put a note in here that we're here for you, whether whether we're operating physically or virtually. It's been a crazy time, but no matter what, you'll be able to find us through email, chat, or phone. And then, of course, if we're on campus, we welcome for you to make the library your home. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the library pages at CCBC where you'll find a lot of resources. So remember I said I want to get you away from just random Googling and get you started on sleuthing out your resources like a scholar. So I think most of us know how to get to CCBC. So we're going to go to ccbc.edu. And here we go to the Campus Life tab. And if you scroll down through, there we are at the library. And here we are. So you can see this is the Circ desk, and I hope you'll stop in to visit us. Right down here in the corner is we have a chat running most of the days. If we're away or not sitting and watching the chat, or if it's off hours, the middle of the night when some of you do your work best, you'll see offline with the chat. And that doesn't mean that we won't get your message. Your message will just come into our emails when we check our emails next. So you're always in touch. And again, you can call or email us at library@ccbc.edu or me at terry.gallagher@ccbc.edu. So we really do want to hear from you. So we are on in the library. So this is the main page. Right now we're operating virtually as I record this, but things may change. We hope they change. And I want to take you through a couple different areas. This is just, as I said, going to be a quick overview when you start looking for your information. So today we're not even going to talk about books. We're going to talk about utilizing the research tools. So right here, if you go into research tools from the library main page, you'll see the library catalog, and that's looking for books. And truthfully, for your assignments, your career assignments, this is one of the places where you'll actually hear a librarian say that you can really find some good virtual sources, and you really don't always have to have a book because the books aren't as cutting edge. There are always things changing with your careers. So what I would recommend is going to our research databases. So these are pools of good, credible information that have already been gathered for scholars and students like you at colleges. So you can go in here and start to do your research on your specific career. And one of the hints for this project I will tell you is don't use terms like your major, like business management, business administration. Come up with something, accountants or chief financial officers or entrepreneurs. You want to find career titles are easier to search. And if you can't do that, please talk to me and we'll come up with something. So anyhow, if you're not aware, electronic databases are these just compilations of of information. So for this, I have another video that takes you step by step on how to use databases. So I'm not going to talk about all the ins and outs. I'm going to show you how to do a search for what you're doing for this particular assignment. So here we are. These are all databases, all offerings of huge hundreds of thousands of articles and information that are geared toward student research. So initially, I always say go to EBSCO because there are a lot of pools of information under here. So when you're working on this particular assignment to look for information on your career or even find a current event, I would say connect to EBSCO. Now here, you're going to sign in. If you're at home and we're remote, you're going to sign in with your whole email. If you're on campus at the computers in the library using the Wi-Fi, you can just put your name, like I would put Terry.Gallagher and not the whole email. And then you put your password that you use for everything, your Blackboard, your my CCBC, your email. So go ahead and put that in and you will go into EBSCO. And this will be that overarching collection of databases. And they all specialize in various subjects. And there's the first two are multidisciplinary, so they cover a lot of different subjects. And the information ranges from popular information that you would see in newspapers to very high-end scientific studies. So you have to decide what you're looking for. In this particular assignment for reading and writing, you can utilize popular information, but I discourage you from just taking anything off of Google. That's why I'm sending you here so you get the better grades and you're using a good source to start with, kind of a launch pad. So these are all the databases that are under EBSCO, and you'll find as you go along, a lot of them are specialized for like nursing or business. So you can depending on what your subject is, if you're into this, you want to be a sustainable farmer, here Greenfowl would work out for you. But generally for the career assignment, I just say to start with Master File, which is one of those, like I said, multidisciplinary. That means it's like Walmart. It has material about everything. It goes from, there would be some health information in there, but there's also going to be sports information. So there's like a wide range. So if you're looking for your career information, that's a good place to go. And newspaper source, because there's a lot of current event articles. So when you click that, and I discourage people from selecting all because it just goes into hundreds of thousands of articles and it takes your time and it takes the time for the search. So if you go in, you can start out real easily. And if you watch the other more in-depth database video that I have in the library, it'll tell you some more things about advanced searching. But right now, I think for your article, a good place to start is just with the title of the career that you are going for. So for me, and one of the things you can do right off that you wouldn't naturally know how to do is if you put that term in quotes, then that's going to use it as a subject search. So it's not going to look for every time there's the word librarian in an article, like a librarian, was staging a fundraiser. Like that's not the kind of articles that you are looking for right now. You're looking more about the actual career. And of course, we're using mine right now. But anyhow, so if you put it in quotes, accountant, librarian, forensic scientist, whatever you're looking for, then that'll help you to find more information on that particular career. So what I'm doing is checking full text. A lot of times when you do the searches, well, not a lot of times, if you do the searches without checking full text, you can get summaries of articles that are out there or abstracts that distill what the articles are about. but you have to look somewhere else. They're just a record of an article. So right now you want a full text article. So if you hit search, then we'll see what comes up. And we'll see that there are actually 43,000 articles out there. So one of the things I like to do too to narrow that down is you should use your dateline, because when you're writing about your career, you're not necessarily writing about it historically. So you can stay within the 10-year time frame. Now, if you are doing careers like IT that have changed a lot in 10 years, you could really pull that down. Librarianships changed. So let's see what's there for 5 years. And as you can see, we're down to 6,000 here. So you can do that. Sure, there's some there right here. You can find start with some information. You could go ahead and do that advanced search and find as here's some videos. Actually, you could do the advanced search, and maybe with COVID, like there's a lot right now. I've become a virtual librarian. Who would have ever thought? So you could even add a word on there if you're leaning toward something with your career that would help narrow the search. So as you can see, I'm getting down more to lower numbers, 718. When you do that advanced search, you want to make sure that you pull the timeline up again, because I want virtual, not from back then, but from now. So there's the new age of librarians. And we're down to 126. And I could even add something else there. Maybe I want to talk about being a reference librarian or a teen librarian. And we could bring it down even more. But you're going to have to explore on what area that you want to cover with your particular career for your paper. Okay, so if I did do teen librarians, I am down to 9 articles that I can look through that are all recent about my field. Now to open this up, I just click on this, on the link, and then to open it up in the PDF, I can do this and fully look at the article as it would appear in a magazine, and see if this is something I would use. Okay, so if this was something that I thought I would use, there are several options. I can print it. Always download before you print. I can send it to Google Drive. This is a very important menu over here. I can email it to myself. So if I go on there and the first, maybe all 9 of those articles are something I'm interested in for my paper, I can email them all to my personal email or my home email. I mean, my personal email or my school email. And then they're sitting there for me to use when I come to the time to write my paper. The other thing you can do is you can cite them. So if you're using APA, you're in a health science class, you can use that. Or if you're using MLA, you can do that. These citations are basically the address to show where you're getting your information. And that is just so critical now that you're college students and writing for college. So that's just a quick overview of using EBSCO and a way you can find your research there. Now, there's another place you can go. It's another, when I took you to the library page, I'm going to take you there. And we're going to go right back to campus life and the library. And the other place I would tell you to look, we are going, remember, to research tools, past the book catalog, and down to the research databases that get you those good grades. The other place I would look if you're doing your your career is in ProQuest. And this has the full text articles of the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. So a lot of current events. And it's very heavy on criminal justice. So if you're going in that direction with your career, you can definitely find a whole slew of things here to support your paper. So you're going to connect to ProQuest same way you connected to the community to the EBSCO, but you didn't, because I was still in EBSCO, I didn't have to authenticate again, and I didn't have to put my username and password in. So that's what you if you went to ProQuest first, you would have had to. Okay, so here we are again. We want to click full text, and then we're looking for articles. On this time, I'm going to show you another trick instead of quotes. Instead of looking just for librarian, if you make it plural to librarians, then that will help with your search too. And we already have the full text box. And so then we're going to click the search. And this says we're searching the 5 databases. You could actually, if you're not in criminal justice, you could open this up and limit it just to the newspapers. But anyhow, here we go. And here we're coming up with some, oh, here we go, academic librarians, but that's in, in Tehran. So we may want to stick to doing an advanced search and add the United States, if that, or unless you want to be a librarian abroad. So there are some things here you can do in the same way that you did with EBSCO. So I promise you I'd keep this short. So again, you click on these, and you can do the same system of getting the citation, downloading, printing, and emailing. And you want to make your search smaller. So another area I wanted to show you while we're doing this is we're going to go back to the library again, because it's hard sometimes when you listen to a video to just remember everything that we're talking about. So we went to ccbc.edu. We're back in the library for the 3rd time, but I figure repetition makes you remember. And instead of going to research tools this time to go into the databases to look for your articles, what you can do is go to course-specific resources. And at the course-specific resources, if you go down, your class is considered, they're in alphabetical order by discipline. Developmental Reading and Writing, you can see a handout here that I have made that tells you how to look for the articles, just like I'm telling you in this video. It tells you how to look for books, and it'll tell you how to search the databases. In addition, it's going to have some good resources online that are credible, so you're not just out there getting information from something that's not vetted. So remember course-specific resources too. And last but not least, I'm going to take you on to Google, because they're actually, for this assignment, you don't hear me say this very often, there are some places that are good for looking. When you're looking at websites, you want to look for those .govs and .edus. Students always tell me .orgs, but you have to examine them. But your .edus and your .govs are the places you want to go. So there's career information from the United States government, from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And I'm going to go ahead and put the site in for you up here, but it's on the yes, and that just came up. It's on that handout, so you can use that there. It's the Occupational Outlook handbook. So here you can get all kinds of information by putting in and doing a search for whatever career. It'll give you some good nuts and bolts for your paper. So if you wanted to look up librarian here, we have all kinds of, right from September, we have information. So excuse me. And you can see median pay, all kinds of information about the job availability, and go from there. And there's one other site that I'll recommend. And again, this is on the handout and course specific, and it is called One to Online. Let's see. And it's on that. Okay, and here we go. Oops. Sorry, guys. I was trying to look at two screens, and I'll be leading you astray. We don't want to go to Sears. And it's ONET Online. Now this is one of those ones where I said you can, it is a .org, but if you check the credentials on the site, you will see it's sponsored by the Department of Labor. So you have a site that's credible. And then we can put in librarian here and see all kinds of jobs here. So that's another thing. You can start here and look at business administration or business management. It'll bring up different jobs that you could use that are related to give you some better search terms. So that's it. I'm going to leave you with those hot clues. Again, on the CCBC library website, there is a how to search the databases that is a little more in-depth about doing the advanced searches. In addition, we'll have some videos on going to course reserves, on citations, and on searching for books. We just have a brand new library system for the first time since 2004. So it should be really advantageous for searching. Most of all, just come see us. We'll help you find the research that you need. So thanks for your attention and have a great day.